Hi, I'm Ken. Welcome to the channel.
This week, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to one of the most historic racetracks on the schedule, Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. This race is part of the official Throwback Weekend of NASCAR. For any of you that might be new to NASCAR, that means that some of the cars are going to have a special one-off paint scheme that's usually based on a NASCAR paint scheme from the past, but not always, as you're about to see. This is absolutely one of my favorite events, not only for the great paint schemes, but also for the great racing that this unique mile and a third egg-shaped oval has been producing for 75 years. It was NASCAR's first superspeedway before many other large tracks were built, and the Southern 500, which it hosted in 1950, was NASCAR's first ever 500-mile race. This track is so iconic that it has not one, but two nicknames. The track Too Tough to Tame is more commonly used today. The other nickname is the Lady in Black. There are several theories on how these nicknames came to be, and some really fascinating stories about the construction and the history of this track, including why it's egg-shaped. But that's a topic for another video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're interested, so you don't miss it.
Okay, on to my top 5 favorite throwback paints of 2025. Go ahead and leave me a message in the comments. Let me know what you think of my top 5. Tell me what your favorite paints are. Here we go.
Number 5.
The number 41 Haas factory team Ford with Cole Custer behind the wheel will honor Jimmy Spencer and his Chip Ganassi Target car from 2002. They did a nice job on this one. It wasn't really a great combination though. Jimmy was released after just one season at Ganassi. I watched Jimmy Spencer race modifieds when I was a kid growing up in the Northeast, Mr. Excitement, so I always rooted for him when he made it to Cup. I moved to Florida in 1994 and attended the Pepsi 400 at Daytona that summer, which Jimmy won by .008 seconds over Ernie Irvan, driving the 27 Junior Johnson McDonald's Ford. I remember being miserably hot and sweaty, with literally sweat running down my face and dripping off my nose. This was several years before they installed lights at Daytona, so the race was run during the day under the blazing summer Florida sun, and the humidity was about 1,000,000,000%. Our seats were in the tower section at the start-finish line, so that was pretty cool at least.
Number 4.
This is one of the more unique ideas we've seen in quite a while. The number 21 Wood Brothers Racing Ford, driven by Josh Berry, is running a 1965 Jim Clark Indianapolis 500 throwback scheme. So what's the NASCAR connection here? Well, Jim Clark won the Indy 500 in 1965, and it was the first time that a rear-engine car had won the race. This was the culmination of several years of development of the rear engine in Colin Chapman's Lotus chassis, spurred by the legendary Dan Gurney, with Ford stepping in with factory support to push it to success. So there's the Ford connection. Ford wanted the victory badly that year, and they pulled out all the stops. They hired the famous Wood Brothers NASCAR pit crew to handle the pit stops. So there's your Wood Brothers connection. In doing some research about this, I discovered that there are a lot of stories about how the Wood Brothers pit crew made the difference in the race. They did, but maybe not how you would think. The facts are that only 2 pit stops were made in the race, and they were for fuel only. They ran the entire Indy 500 on a single set of tires. Their success was attributed to using a Venturi tube, which allowed fuel to flow much faster into the car, and that caught all the other teams by surprise, and they pretty much won the race in the pits.
Number 3.
Cody Ware, in the Rick Ware Racing Ford, is sporting a Ward Burton late 1990s throwback honoring Tommy Baldwin Jr., who's currently the competition director at Rick Ware Racing. Back in 1998, Ward Burton was driving the number 22 Bill Davis Racing Pontiac and still kind of struggling, especially compared to his brother Jeff, who had already scored 5 of his eventual 21 wins by that time. Tommy Baldwin Jr. was brought in as crew chief for the last 8 races of the 1998 season. The team immediately ran better and climbed from 21st to 16th in the points over those last 8 races. 1999 brought the team 16 top 10s on a 34-race schedule and a top 10 finish in the point standings. They were the only single-car team to do that in 1999. Burton would go on to win 2 races at the track Too Tough to Tame with Tommy Baldwin Jr. on the pit box. The first was in March of 2000 when he dominated and won the Mall.com 400, and then a huge Southern 500 win in 2001. One of the reasons I like this car is that I watched Tommy's dad, Tom Baldwin Sr., race modifieds at Riverhead Raceway on Long Island, where the NASCAR Modified Tour still races to this day, and I also watched him race at 2 other long-since demolished racetracks on Long Island when I was a kid, in the late 70s and early 80s, I guess. If you remember those two other tracks, go ahead and name them in the comments. Let's see if we have any Northeastern Modified historians in the house. I'd love to hear from you. Tommy Jr.'s son Luke is now continuing the family tradition, winning the Smart Modified Tour Championship in 2024 and recently announcing that he'll race 3 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series events this season for Thor Sport Racing. Good luck, Luke.
Number 2.
Joey Logano will be driving the Team Penske number 22 with a throwback to 1976, Cale Yarborough's Holly Farms car, which was owned by the legendary Junior Johnson. Cale won the championship in 1976 with 9 wins. Then he backed it up in 1977 with another 9 wins, and then again in 1978 with 10 wins, to become one of only 10 drivers in the history of NASCAR to earn 3 or more Cup championships. Keep in mind, the season was only 30 races back then, so he basically won a third of all the races, 28 out of 90, in 3 years. He had an unbelievable 70 top 5s out of 90 races over those 3 seasons. Even more impressive is the fact that he was the first driver to win 3 consecutive championships before the only 2 other guys who have ever done it, who you might have heard of, Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jimmy Johnson. 1975 was the year that I started attending NASCAR Cup races with my dad at Pocono and Dover, and started following the sport. I was only 11 years old, but I clearly remember that by 1978 we were tired of Cale Yarborough winning. Anybody but Cale, we used to say.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. We're going to get to my number 1 pick in a second. First, I'd like to ask you, go ahead and like this video if you like it. Click that thumbs up, it really helps me out. And here we go, on to number 1.
Number 1.
Austin Cindric will be driving the Team Penske number 2 with a really cool throwback to the number 2 Chevrolet that Dale Earnhardt Sr. drove for Rod Osterland Racing in 1979 and 1980, his first full-time ride in the Cup Series. Dale won Rookie of the Year honors in 1979 with a win at Bristol, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s, and a 7th place finish in the point standings, even though he missed 4 out of 31 races with a broken collarbone. In 1980, he would win his first NASCAR Cup Championship, scoring 5 wins, 19 top 5s, and 24 top 10s, while becoming only the 3rd driver at the time to win both Rookie of the Year honors and a Cup Championship. The other 2 were none other than David Pearson and the King himself, Richard Petty. These first couple of years of Dale Sr.'s career don't get as much attention as they should, because Rod Osterland would sell the team to J.D. Stacy in 1981, leading to Dale Sr. leaving and running some races with Richard Childress Racing, but leaving RCR at the end of the 1981 season since he wasn't happy with the chemistry. This was followed by 2 not-so-great seasons driving the number 15 Bud Moore Ford, which had a lot of trouble finishing races, with 31 DNFs in 60 races over the 1982 and 83 seasons combined. Then, Dale went back to RCR in 1984, and the rest is history. I have photos that I took of Dale Sr. driving that number 2 car that I took at Pocono in 1979 and 1980, but honestly, I wasn't really a big fan. I was a Darrell Waltrip fan already, and I was for his entire career. There were plenty of great battles and championships between them to come, and I enjoyed them all.
I'm Ken. Thanks for watching the video. Go ahead and like it if you like it. And if you want to subscribe, there are going to be lots of more good videos coming. I've got a lot of cool memorabilia to share, stories to share from my past 50 years of attending NASCAR races. So I'll see you in the next one.